Okay, last thing that we're going to run through in today's session is some visual changes made to eDrawings. eDrawings has been available for Android and iDevices for a couple of years now, and it's more of a tablet look and feel, you know, kind of where Windows 8 happens to be going as well. And they've changed eDrawings on the desktop systems to look a lot more like the eDrawings of mobile. It also now supports things like custom properties, named views that you'd saved in your 3D files, even simulation results, plastic results, and it works on the Android operating system as we mentioned before. So with this one here, let's open up a couple of different eDrawings. The eDrawings that I want to show you on this one are a couple of different. We got some simulation results. That's the first thing I'd like you to see. And since we did simulation with the Load Case Manager previous, this one really should show nicely. What we have here is an eDrawing, and of course you can see that we have our simulation plots showing information from the feedback of that plot, as well as our loads and boundary conditions. And if you take a look down here on the bottom, all of the tools that we used to have peppered in different areas around eDrawings are really just along the bottom now. When it comes to simulation, we can go ahead and take a look at the studies that are here. And in these studies, we can actually see the different plots that are here as well. So if I want to look at the stress plot versus displacement versus factor of safety, we can see all of those quite easily here. We also have the ability to turn on and off the display of the different loads and restraints. So over here, I'm removing my fixtures. Down here in the bottom, I can remove my forces. So simple visual elements. You can get rid of the legend, turn that back on, or even go ahead and show or hide the mesh. When we're dealing with plastics, it's going to show you the feedback of plastics fill time. It's not quite an animated type of a fill just yet, but it will give you the feedback of any of these plots that we do within plastics. Once again, you look at your plots, you're going to see your plastics fill time, and then the surface plot associated with that. When we're opening up assemblies or part files with eDrawings, you're going to get things like your part properties or your file properties. All of these things are now located in the lower right and in the lower left area, so all the buttons that we had there previously. If I wanted to go ahead and explode this, of course, the button's going to be down there for exploding. Animate's going to animate from one view to another if it was a drawing, or from front, left, top, right, and throughout if it's a part or assembly. Of course, the Move tool is always there. Depending on what you selected, the Move tool will then pop out different tools with different specifics. We just want to go ahead and do a free drag, we can do that as well. But there are different inputs that we could use specifically with the deltas that we've changed there. Measurement is also down there. Once again, based on how you measure or what you select will be within that tool. And then down here we've also got our section tool. Easy enough to go ahead and flip the direction of the sections, go ahead and change what plane we're actually using for the sections, but in a very easy to use type of a format. Markups are the one thing in annotations that I find to be just a little bit of a hard discovery for a new user, so I want to show you this in a little bit more detail. We take a look down here for annotations. Annotations are going to be different things. Could be a new comment where we do a balloon or a note or some sort of drawing, or even insert an image at this point. But what you do now is you say you want a new comment, and I'll show you why this is. If I was to come in here with a new comment and go ahead and take that new comment and then simply make a note, for example. Maybe I want to go ahead and put in a type here. Let's just put a balloon. I'm going to call this something. I'm still in the middle of a comment, so I could come in here and also put another note in a different spot with something else. And these are all part of the exact same comment. Prior to that, it was a little tougher to group these kinds of things. If I wanted to then separate these out, I could maybe rotate this file around, do a new comment, and then from there maybe do just something else. So there's a couple of things up there. Maybe I'll just draw something. Just draw a circle around an area. So each of these comments now is a separate type of a thing. It's got multiple elements within it, and then there are different points of view for those especially. If this is an eDrawings Professional, which this is, that would allow me to save the markup and or save the eDrawing. The markup could be inserted into the SolidWorks file from here, or we could go ahead and actually, if we're opening up native SolidWorks drawings, have those markups appear directly within the SolidWorks interface. So that's what we have today for part 2 of our What's New in SolidWorks 2015 webinar series. I want to go ahead and just check the webinar interface here for a second and see what kind of questions we might have out there. We'll see what we can do here. So regarding plastics, can you model the likely warpage and then use the warped model for your tooling? You know, I have to actually check on that one, Sean. We have a thing in our other simulation tools where you can save the deflected model. So if you do have a displacement in a static simulation, the deflected model could effectively serve as a nice interrogation piece for what would be springback. So when it comes to the plastics model, though, it's going to tell you where warpage will occur, but there's not necessarily a displacement or a warpage simulation taking place there. So it's more or less feedback, not actually showing you the warped change. So my guess is going to be no, but I can check into that one. And then this one here is, do you have the ability to pull a serial number into the Treehouse option? Not really quite sure exactly what the question is with that one. Serial numbers into Treehouse would it would just be a property that has to go along with the file. So if there was a property that was a serial number, then that might be an effective property that would be accessible through there. But it is for structuring any type of part assembly and drawing. So if those document templates have a property called serial number, then that would be something we could use. But we can't use it to auto-name like we would inside of ePDM. Now, your question just came through. Thanks a lot, Cheryl. I do not know of a serial number generator for that product as of yet, but that would be a fantastic enhancement request for those. So I do appreciate the addition of that question. All right, with that, I just want to thank everybody for spending their time today for us. We got one more thing, which options are included in Standard, Pro, and Premium. The plastics is a bolt-on. You can put that on every part, every type of SolidWorks license, whether you have a Standard, Pro, or Premium, but it is not included in a Pro or Premium. So again, this was what options are included in them. The Treehouse tool is part of ePDM 2015 as well as Web 2.0. Those are all native new enhancements to the product, so nothing addition to that. Any of the other simulations that you saw, the nonlinears and dynamics, those are all part of the simulation products, which also can be added to any version of SolidWorks, Pro, Premium, or Standard. And then, of course, in SolidWorks Professional and Premium, there is Workgroup Pdm, which is not Enterprise Pdm. They are quite different. Enterprise is controlled by a database, and Workgroup is a flat file structure. So once again, I want to thank everybody for spending an hour with us here during your lunchtime. I hope you had a good lunch and a little bit of relaxing time to pick up on what we've added to the product this time around. We're going to take this recording and save it to the website, so once again, any of your colleagues can come out here and take a look at this whenever they'd like to.